Next up, we have a filmmaker, an activist, and also a comedian. Please welcome Lenny Peppers.
Hey everyone, my name is Lenny Peppers. I am Northern Cheyenne Crow from Eastern Montana. My comedy name is Runs with Joke. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself. I come from a long line of chiefs. For instance, my grandfather was a chief petty officer in the U.S. Navy. And my mother, she is a chief executive director for a nonprofit startup. And my brother, he is a sous chef. Yeah, he read that job advertisement totally wrong. But he only has one major complaint, and that is stuffing all of those feathers underneath the hairnet for work. The moral of that story is to dress for the job that you want. I have 6 kids. I know what you all are thinking. I am far too young and beautiful to have a career in comedy. But I'm talking about my kids right now. Focus. I have 6 kids, and my family likes to give Indian names, but that was a lot of people to give Indian names to. So what I ended up doing was I named them all after the contraceptives that they were conceived on. We have Yaz after the pill. It's pretty, right? Yeah. Then we have Patch. Then we have Pull-Out Method. Yeah, they're twins, by the way. Then we have little Nuva, has a ring to it. And then there's little baby IED. Oh wait, I said that wrong. IUD. Although after 6 kids, it looks like an IED has gone off down there. I want to be like this really good parent to all of these kids. I want them all to grow up and be well-adjusted, woke young individuals. And so we don't say things in our house like boys will be boys. But that kind of brings a problem up when it comes to justifying my 4-year-old's bad behavior. Like I'm in the grocery store and he's like the good food store and he's acting up and I'm like, sorry, he's a Sagittarius. Or at the China buffet, I'm like, yes, he will have a large Mountain Dew, and I'm sorry for his behavior. He was born in the year of the horse. And it works when I go to the reservation, to the Crow reservation. I'm like, sorry, he's part Cheyenne. And vice versa, when I go to the Cheyenne res, I'm like, crows will be crows. I was married about 6 months ago. We had a naming ceremony for my husband, and it was so beautiful. And we had like this big dinner afterwards, and I cried. And I feel like for the first time in 8 years, that my dad finally came to accept my husband as part of the family. Actually, my husband is here tonight. White Devil, back here, and he just had It was a long engagement. We were engaged for 7 years. And the reason for that is because he had to prove his bravery to my father per Cheyenne tradition. And I finally was able to convince my dad that anyone who would have 2 kids with somebody who already had 4 kids was pretty dang brave. Yeah. And also he was supposed to give my dad 100 horses, and he ended up giving him 99 and a half horses. White devil, more like not quite devil. Speaking of which, has anyone ever gotten halfway through eating their horse before they realized they weren't as hungry as they thought they were? Yeah, I'm working on it. I recently went on a diet, actually. All native food diet, mostly buffalo wings. The weird thing about buffalo wings is that there is 1,400 pounds of meat on a bison, and everyone insists on eating the little vestigial wings. Guys, that is the one part of the bison that we Cheyenne didn't use. So Sarah mentioned that I am an activist. I am. I spend a lot of my time battling late-stage colonialism. Thank you. And I get invited to a lot of dinner parties on both sides of the aisle, down in Helena. And I noticed there's some differences between the two dinner parties. For instance, when I go to a Democratic dinner party, everybody shows up, they eat buffet style, they watch the presenter, applaud, and go home. And it is really way more fun than it sounds. But the big differences I noticed were when I go to the Republican dinner parties. First off, we all walk in, and everybody is dressed to the T's. And these servers come out with these huge heaping trays of food, and they serve them to the top 1% of the people, and the rest of us just wait for the food to trickle down. The other big difference I noticed is when the presenters go up, instead of applause, most of the people usually just bang the butts of their AR-15s on the ground in unison. So after we got married 6 months ago, I moved into a new house, and I'm starting to think that maybe it was built on an ancient Indian burial ground. Who am I kidding? Everything in Missoula is built on an ancient Indian burial ground. But this was really scary. I'm freaking out. Basically, I keep finding all of my oven mitts upstairs in the bathroom underneath the sink. Yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe I have a potholdergeist. Not to be confused with the pothole geist that we have here in Missoula that I keep finding all of the potholes for with my car. I wrote that on my way here. I hear the only way to get rid of a potholdergeist. Can I have something to drink? I like my water. I hear the only way to get rid of a potholdergeist is to hire a small, medium, and large medicine man. Some of you have seen potholdergeists too. I ordered this bottle of lotion online the other day, and it's the kind of lotion that you put on your hand, or you put on your body, and it gives you that summer glow all year round. And I was so excited when the package came in the mail, and I opened up the box, and I read the description, and this is a real lotion, guys, you can totally look it up. The description said, Dove, for normal to dark skin tones. As if dark skin tones are normal. It's okay though. I did take my Sharpie out, I scribbled out the description, and I fixed it. It now says Dove. For fair, right? Fair? Yeah. To unfair skin tones. All better. So, last year, a little bit of background for this story first. So, Columbus Day is a holiday I usually have a little bit of a tenuous relationship with. My mother's a legislator. Right now they're in Congress trying to change the name to Indigenous Peoples Day. And, but I have to admit that like this last year's Columbus Day was really, really good. I don't know if you guys know this, but Columbus Day, to celebrate, the enslavement of more people than any other human in history, they have Mattress Day sales that day. Yeah, I don't know what the connection is, but I did get my mattress for 40% off. But the weird thing was the guy kept following me around the store, the salesman, and he's like, please take home this complimentary blanket. And I was like, are you threatening me? The other reason why that day was so good was because Missoula sent out a mass social media text out that morning that said all of the parking in Missoula was totally free that day in honor of Indigenous Peoples Day. But that's really not quite how it works. You see, Columbus Day is a nationally recognized federal holiday, and so all of the meter readers had that day off anyway. And so I took 2 parking spaces. First off, Missoula. If you're going to be the city of Missoula, if you're going to be more woke, maybe giving away little plots of land in honor of Indigenous people and then taking them away at the end of the day is not the way to go about it. Second off, I called all of my friends, and for one beautiful afternoon, downtown Missoula was filled with Senecas and Pontiacs and Grand Cherokees and Winnebagos and one Indian motorcycle. So another cool thing about Missoula, or Montana as a whole, is that Montana has a long history of having very powerful women leaders all the way from before Montana was a Montana. And one of those leaders is Sacagawea, whose job was basically to guide white guys through the wilderness. And it never changes. Yeah, even this week, I had to clear the bush just so he could find the canoe. Yeah, it's a dirty one, guys. I got one more for you. I told you guys at the beginning of the joke, not yesterday. Today. About 15 minutes ago. That I come from a long line of chiefs. And I actually also have an uncle who was a chief. He was chief wine taster. And he one day, what he would do is he would go to the wine and he would scoop it up in his hands and he would taste it. And somebody came up to him and was like, hey, do you want a spoon? And he said, I have 10 spoons right here. And from that day forward, he was known as 10 Spoon. And, 10 Spoon. He fell in love with a woman from eastern Montana named Three Fork. And they had a little baby who grew up and went to college and went on to revolutionize the entire fast food eating utensil industry. His name was Spork. Yeah. And that's a story we tell in my family from now on, because I just made that up. All right, everyone, Lenny Peppers.